Hello everybody, this is Tifa with Kate's Crafty Closet, and I'm doing this tutorial by request from everybody over at the Eileen Holtz fan page group. So make sure you check that out. If you're not part of that group, I will link it in the description box below. Very interactive, especially if you are a fan of Eileen Holtz and Eileen Holtz projects and stuff. So today, this is the die that I use to make these little tiny books. So this tutorial is going to be about how I do the binding for my inserts for the tiny book, and I'll explain as I go along. So this is the die, and I will link the products in the description box below. We do have a couple of these left in the store, so if you don't have one, these are so much fun to make, you all. It's so much fun to make. So this is like what I do with my scraps or just stuff. I made a whole bunch of these, and I think I still have some more. Just made a whole bunch of them and ready to decorate at a given's notice when I have the time to do so. So make sure you do that. And then I also did a whole bunch of these ahead of time, so let me know in the description box below if you want me to do a tutorial on how just to make these. Like, I'm splitting them out because it's sometimes just easy to reference specifically what it is you want to learn and what you want to know. So I want to give you all what you're looking for. And then if you want me to show you how I make, like for instance, this one was a very popular one, how I made this specifically. I can do a version of this because there are pieces of this that I don't have anymore. Just use up scraps. But let me know if you also want to see a tutorial on how I made that and my thought process on that. So let me show you all the reasons why I did this. So here with my book, you'll notice there is a little bit of a gap in here, which I used on, for instance, this one. I decorated that. I inserted that on the inside, and this is basically like a hard wire embellishment. Like, you can add a tassel in there or anything like that, some charms, and it won't necessarily get in the way of your binding. So why did I do this? Well, I learned that when I was using, let me grab an empty one right here. When I'm using and binding this, and remind you, the side that you bind is going to be the side that has your PVA glue on it that holds your little book pages into place. So with that being said, I would glue that, or even double-sided tape I put on there and put it in the binding. But when you open it up, a lot of times it was wanting to separate that binding from the book pages. So I was like, that's not going to work for me, because if I want to use this, I specifically make these to give out as gifts in my orders sometimes, and I will just pass these out to people in public. Like if I go to Walmart cashier or somebody here, and I put them in little plastic bags that you can get from the Dollar Tree and stuff like that. So I okay, I want to use them specifically for writing, and great to write down a phone number if you don't have nothing handy. But another thing is, like, you can make little scrapbooks out of these, like, put a picture, write something on it. So that's the reasons why I tested what works out the best for me. So ahead of time, like, that's one of those ones that I pre-cut. Remember, these are ScoreBoards. So what does that mean? It cuts and scores and does all the work for you. All you pretty much have to do is fold them and burnish them and get that good crease, especially if you're using a thicker material. And just remember, you can use cereal boxes, you can use pasta boxes, because it's just left over, and you can decorate with every kind of paper or what have you that you want. So there is what I do. I do that. I do it a couple times, sometimes depending on the material that's on the outside, because sometimes the paper is thick. This is just actually glitter sheets, adhesive glitter sheets that I picked up from the Dollar Tree last year. So this is what they look like. They're thin, so you have to put them on some cardstock on top of each other, so it's thin and it's adhesive back. Comes off pretty easily. So that's basically what that is. I just cut them, trim them, miter the edges, and put them on there. So with that being said, this is the easy peasy lemon squeezy aspect of this and how to do this. I just take some double-sided tape, and I tested wet glue with this, and I prefer just using double-sided tape. So make sure it's a strong one, like that you pretty confident that it can withhold this wear and tear. This little book may or may not get when you do that. So I do that. Then I go ahead and do the opposite side as well. But I'll tell you this, I only pull the release paper off of one side at a time, and promise you that do that. Don't peel them both off at the same time, because you're not going to particularly be fond of their end result. So with that being said, sometimes I grab this pokey tool because I can't always grab that release paper off, and the last thing I want to do is, you know, have an argument with the release paper, and use, because I know it's going to win, so I don't bother. So I'm just going to peel those off. And it's like, here we go. And basically, just kind of decide how you want to put it in there. Like, if you have something in here that's going a specific way, you want to be very specific. And that, so basically what I do is I just line it up on here. I'm not perfect with it, I promise you. And I just close that book. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull off this release paper. And I just find that if you put, sometimes when you put liquid adhesive in there, you fight with it and you put too much and it can soak into, remember this paper on the inside is not super thick, so it'll warp it. And I don't really want to do that. And then with that side, I just open and then close it and burnish it down. And basically, there's your little book. And see how easy this opens without putting a lot of stress onto that bind. That's your binding part, the seam of your book. And like I said, you have a little bit of room. Like that one just broke off, so don't pay no attention to that. I can fix that later. There we go. We can fix that later, but here you go. It came undone, and that's okay. But that is pretty much what it looks like. So let me bring back the other one, bring back the die, show you what it looks like. And the die cuts other things as well. You get a couple different pieces. Cuts the book, and it cuts that key, that oval piece. And that oval piece is what is right here. And right there, and then you get the little buckle, like enclosure as well. So, like I said, here is again, it just opens really easily. You know, it's like, you know, this one opens super easy, and I like it perfectly. So that is the tutorial I have for you all today. I'm hoping this answered any of the questions that was over in Eileen's group, and when I did the live with her, showing all my little projects that I made. Like I said, remember, let me know if you want me to show you how to make the little booklets on the inside and what I use and how I use it, so I can have them separated. And like I said, I'll just go back and just bind this one to this one, and that'll be fixed because I can't pull it up now and put more PVA glue on it. Let me know if you want me to show you how I make the little inserting books on that, and as well, do you want me to kind of show you how I make this book? Like I said, it'll be a really close to it, just maybe a different color, and it won't have this piece. So I want to thank you all for joining me today. I appreciate you all. Make sure you check out the website at katescraftycloset.com, and also remember to use code SAVE and the number 5 to save $5 off of your order of $25 or more. And like I said, if you ever have any questions, please reach out to me. My email addresses are all over the website, and in the description box below, you can always leave a comment and I'll make sure to answer you. So thank you all for joining me, and have a crafty day, y'all.